What's up, Art and Tails? What's up, Smu?
Hi, what's up? Not much, just living the dream as always.
Oh, I'm so
I'm
envious.
just having fun, you know. I mean, it's in the middle of the night for me, but you know, I gotta make do with what I have, you know.
Well, you did choose the hour. I was like, hey, you know what? We can stream on Saturday at 11 a.m. That'll be like a 4 o'clock-ish for you. No, Friday's good. I'm like,
You
are
know,
you sure?
the age old saying that people live dangerously, right? So
It's true.
that's basically what I'm doing right now.
That's
So, but
You're living on
I'm
the
happy
edge.
to be here. You know?
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. I know you wanted to do this stream. I was so glad.
Yes.
I really like it when people just say, you know what, I love your stream. I want to be on it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. You know?
You know, I find it very important to like get out of your comfort zone every once in a while and just do something different,
Yes.
because people have this habit of like falling into the habits and constantly repeating stuff over and over again. And
Yes.
sometimes it's actually refreshing to do something outside of what you normally do, just so you have a different perspective on things, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
Uh,
and it's really awesome because the people have been getting like the people have been on this stream have been doing saying, hey, you know what? This really got me to do something that I really wanted to do, but I never had time to do it.
mhm.
And it's just like, you know what? Chillax, do your own thing, get some stuff done, and you know what? Have a good time. Because
Yeah,
that's all it's
I,
about.
I mean, a lot of people don't know this about me. I mean, well, some do, but some don't. I love drawing, so sometimes I just, whenever I've had a bad day, I just pick up my pen and paper and just draw something, even if it's just like something like minuscule, like a stick man or something like that.
Nice.
I just go with the flow. What sometimes I'm like, hey, you know what? I might actually draw something else.
You
Like
have your
some,
stuff? Would you
I
like to showcase some stuff? We would love to see it.
I need to see if I don't know where my folder is right now.
Okay.
Um,
For the next
I'll
one.
see if maybe next time I'll find something and I'll show it off to you, because I love doing like what I did do, like drawings of like video game characters and stuff, like characters that I've been growing up with, or even cartoon characters.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Although the cartoon characters have been gone into obscurity a little bit, because some of them are like not as culturally relevant anymore,
Mm-hmm,
so to
mm-hmm.
speak.
Yeah,
Like
it's
if you,
true.
for instance, if you think about like Donald Duck, for example,
Yes.
he's he's a character that I grew up with. I usually liked Donald because I thought he was
Mm-hmm.
funny with the way he spoke, like with a "What do you mean?" like the voice kind of thing. And
Yes.
it is kind of funny because I actually was reminded the other day that he had one or two instances where he actually did talk normal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got like some cough drops or something. Then he
Oh
was talking,
no. I
and
did
then
not know.
he did sound like a proper Englishman. I thought it was pretty funny. And then Disney, when Disney made the new DuckTales show, I think it
Oh
was DuckTales.
yes. I love that. I love that show. It's
With the new art style, they got Don
yeah.
Cheadle to voice Donald,
Okay.
which I thought was a bit of an odd choice, but sure. I mean, more power
Okay.
to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, my dad actually taught me this Donald voice like when I was like 6 or 7 years old. It is a good thing at parties, like just to whip that out and just go like, "Hello, do you want to drink?" You know, it's kind of that's not even a filter. That's just me like composing my voice like that, just to sound
Wow.
like that.
But that's gonna destroy your vocal cords.
Oh, for sure. I even jokingly said like whenever the original voice actor of Donald ever retires, I could actually take on this job. I mean,
Nice.
granted, Disney will never do that because they're Disney.
Yes, they're
But
Disney. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
and you know how Disney is these days with their hiring practices and everything. So
Oh
yeah,
gosh,
I think my
it's so
chances
sad.
of taking a shot as Donald Duck is very limited. And then again, there's a lot of plenty talented people out there who can do just the same, and that's why I'm like just chilling out and relaxing and thinking to myself like, well, maybe if it works out, if it doesn't, I'll just do parody videos sometime.
Nice. That's a lot of fun. I've been asked to do voice acting for a couple things, and one of them was parody and video
Mhm.
games. Actually, I was
Oh,
asked to be Captain Marvel. Thankfully, not
Oh,
Brie Larson, but Captain Marvel nonetheless.
sweet.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that
was
was
a little bit.
the project you were hinting at sometime when you
No,
were in stream, right?
actually, no. That's not a. That's another project.
Oh, that's another
Um,
one. Okay.
yes, that's another one with a friend of mine who's called Zachary Levi. He's a producer, lives in LA, and he's a screenwriter, producer, video game, a story creator,
Can,
and
can I just point out that it's
yes,
ironic that he is named just like the actor?
is it Zachary Leary? Sorry, Zachary Leary, not Zachary Levi. Almost Zachary Levi.
I was about to say, like,
There's-
if
no,
it would
that's
be
not so.
Zachary Levi, I would be like, dang.
That would be so
But
cool.
you
But
know,
no, his name is Zachary Leary. Yeah, but it's
mm,
very close. That's why I got
mm.
I'm like, oh yeah.
I find it interesting, like doing kind of the voice work for something, right? Because I normally, I mean, I'm on camera talking a lot, and just like put up random conversations with people whenever they're on stream with me. But it is an interesting thing to do voice work for something that you're not like necessarily used to.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know,
That was a lot of fun. Well, it did get me out of my comfort zone, definitely.
Mhm,
So some people know that I'm a storyteller, which is how Zach got in touch with me.
mhm.
He started following me, and he even has like IMDb, paid page, and like he's done acting and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he started following me, and I just thanked him because he has had a whole bunch of followers. I was
Mhm,
just starting off, probably at, I don't know, 100, 200. I don't know. It was just like very, very little compared to
mhm,
him. And he's like, "Yeah, I really like what you're doing." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And then that's it.
mhm,
And then I started off my streams, my storytelling streams. And then one day he just popped out of the blue and said, "Hey,
mhm,
I would love to come on your podcast or your live stream and talk about story." And I'm like, "Oh yeah,
mhm,
sure." I'm like, "I'm down." So that's how we got into contact. And then later on it was last year that he
mhm,
said, "Listen, I'm working on this project, and I would love for you to do this voice acting thing. Would you be
mhm,
interested?" Obviously, I'm not going to get paid. But I said, "Yeah, sure, that'd be fine." So he got me the script. It's a very, very small character,
mhm,
which is fine by me because I have like literally no training in voice acting, and they loved it. Well, they matched it up. They added like some distortion, and um, only people who really know how I speak and like know me will
mhm.
identify my voice. If not, it's a completely different voice. But my way of talking is pretty like it's pretty legit.
Uh, so it's
So
basically something if you know, you know, kind of thing.
yeah. If you know, you know exactly. So
Okay.
yeah,
I find it fascinating whenever I like play video games and I hear like the voice actors
yeah,
doing like these roles and changing their voices, right?
yeah.
So sometimes you recognize the voice actor immediately, where you say like, yeah, that's the guy, you know. But
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am like that, and people are always like, how do you know this? I'm like, well, I actually read into the kind of things that I'm actually playing and watch, you know, and that's
Yes.
how it is, especially like with who's a good example. Mm, what's Nolan North, for example?
Okay.
He's the actor who was in General Hospital for like
Okay.
a couple of episodes,
Yeah.
and then and other things. But his breakout was actually playing Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's also the voice for Deadpool in some media.
Oh,
And
okay.
I thought it was pretty funny when Marvel Rivals came along, the video game. He was
Uh-huh.
actually not voicing Deadpool, but Rocket Raccoon. I was like, wait a minute,
Okay.
that's Nolan North. So there's like these parallels where you recognize the voices immediately, but sometimes voice actors do such a good job of changing their voice
Yes.
that you can't even tell that it's them.
Yes. Yes.
I,
That's
I,
awesome.
I think voice acting is a very interesting job to have.
Hmm. I
But
think
yeah, there's. I mean, granted, you have some moronic voice actors in Hollywood who think they're better than the average person. Let's just
yeah,
say,
you're gonna
and
have that all you're always gonna have that anyway.
sadly, yeah. The ironic part is it is kind of like the Hollywoodization of the medium in general, like video games, movies,
Hmm.
and TV shows, especially. Like if you have
Yeah.
like niche things, for example, it's very interesting how how the whole gig has changed,
Hmm.
and because you have a tendency of seeing the same faces over and over again in a lot of projects, or
Yes.
have actors reprising their roles in animation. I mean,
Yes.
the best example for that is probably Tom Hiddleston as Loki,
Oh, in
because
the video
because he
game as well.
it's not in the video game, but in like the Marvel animated
Oh,
shows,
yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay.
it is him, and
Okay.
I always thought it was fascinating how um some actors can be this versatile, right? Like
Uh-huh.
changing from actual acting to voice acting, or going
Yes.
to theater acting as well.
Yes. Okay, so I have a confession to make.
Mhm.
I can't stand this actor, but as a voice actor, I think he's spectacular. So,
I have a hunch who you might say, but go ahead.
do you want to give it a guess?
Mark Hamill.
Okay, no, no, actually, no.
Okay.
I like his acting as Luke Skywalker, but
Hmm.
no. Um, oh, the one who played Night in a Museum. Oh gosh, Zoolander. What's his name?
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Hmm.
So, okay, I can't stand the man. I
Okay.
can't stand it. I can't stand his acting.
Yeah, he's
It-
got a weird style of acting.
it's like it's too forced. It's for me, he's not funny.
Hmm.
He's like he overacts for
Hmm.
me. Okay, and
Hmm.
this is probably getting a lot of hate because like people just love him, and I just can't stand him like at all. I don't like his movies. Um, Funny enough, one of a friend of mine who is inside the booth invited me
Hmm.
for my first invite to any stream. I was so excited, and he asked me to like comment on Zoolander, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
"You're
god.
kidding! You're kidding! You couldn't have asked me something else? No, it had to be Ben Stiller." So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch clips of this horrendous movie," which I did. I did not. I could not watch the whole film. I just.
Yeah.
However,
Oh.
his voice acting is spectacular.
Mhm.
Like Madagascar,
Yes.
uh, it's like first rate. It's like wow, I'm a big Ben Stiller fan as a voice actor.
Mhm.
Cannot stand him in a normal situation.
See, that's fascinating because you said like he comes across forced when he's acting, right?
Yes,
I feel the same about Leonardo DiCaprio. I always,
really.
I personally think that man is overacting in a
Okay,
lot of things. There's one role. I'll give him credit where credit is due. There's one role where his overacting actually works,
which
and
is
That's Django Unchained when he's
okay.
playing Calvin Candy.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The That's the only instance where I actually appreciate his overacting because it's a Tarantino movie, and you know how Tarantino movies are. They're usually pretty over the top, and
Yeah, they're over the top. Yes,
the acting is a bit questionable at times, you know.
yes.
And yeah, it's fascinating how different actors can be in certain roles. There's a fascinating tidbit about that movie. There's
Hmm.
one scene where he slams his hand on a table and breaks a glass, and then picks out the shards out of his hand because
Ouch.
he breaks the glass. That actually happened in the scene.
Oh,
That
he
was
did.
that was
That was
improvised.
legit.
That
Oh,
was
that was
legit.
legit. That's
Like
crazy.
he stayed in character. I would have lost my I would have lost it. Like seriously, I would have freaked
Wow.
out. Like, man, I've got shots in my hand. I need to get those out.
That's wow. Well, anyway, let's say hi to the chat. They're in there. I can see a couple people here, and then there's Logic Sparks. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello. It's so awesome to see you. And it's D, Mr. R to the Icky. Hello, Maria Smooth in the
Hello.
chat.
Mhm.
We
How you
got
doing?
we already got into deep dives in conversation.
It's crazy, right? I
It's
mean,
so insane.
I don't. I'll tell you what. Truth be told,
What? Uh,
before I started streaming by myself, because
mhm.
I used to stream on Twitch without a camera. That was my first streaming gig, basically. That was like
Okay.
2020.
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
But I stream to no one. If you guys don't know, Twitch is an awfully frustrating platform to get an
Yes.
audience on.
Oh yeah.
It is frustrating. And I was basically streaming to nobody for like days on end. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna bother. I'm not even gonna put a camera on. I'll just talk when I'm playing. Back in the day, my general idea was that I just record gameplay and don't do any commentary over it. Nowadays, I'm like a bit more okay with it. If
Yeah.
you would have met me like 10 years ago, I would be a completely different person. I would be very shy, not very talkative.
That's crazy. Wow. I don't see you like that, but I believe you.
Well, there's a caveat to the whole thing because, I mean, for those who don't know me, I am actually a nurse outside of this whole YouTube thing.
Hmm.
So I was kind of like forced to get out of my shell and talk to people.
Oh my gosh, yes. You
Because you have to talk to
you
people,
have
because
to do it.
you can't just like do a mind read and say like,
No.
oh no, the patient has this and that.
Oh my
You can't do
gosh.
that.
Wow.
So I was kind of like thrown into it with the into the whole thing, and that's how I gained my confidence. I mean, granted, sometimes I'm still a little socially awkward and shy around people, especially
Hmm.
when I meet them for the first time. If you ask
Yes.
Tabitha, she can attest to that because she met me in San Antonio, and I was
Okay.
pretty shy around her, even though there was no reason for it because we spoke a lot. So I kind of knew what I got myself into.
Okay.
But it's still like this weird moment when you meet the people you meet online in real life.
Yes. I feel you. I totally feel you.
Yeah, that's going to be even weirder for me when Tomby is bringing the PC that
That
he's
is so
going to build for me.
crazy.
It is
Yes.
insane. I mean, he lives like, I mean, if I consider the journey he's taken with the ferry and everything,
Yes.
it takes him 8 hours to get here. I was like,
That's
you
it?
could have taken a plane. You would have been here in like 2 hours. And he was like, nah, I can't guarantee that the PC will make it in one piece if I fly over. I was like, okay, that's fair. But I mean, some of the chat has probably met Tomby when he was live with you guys, and
Hmm.
it is absolutely insane how generous this man is and how much time
Yes.
he has for other
Yes.
people.
Yes. Agreed.
And
It's
he's a very inspiring man. You know, I mean, I I I have this problem of dwelling on negativity a bit too much, and that's why I need to get off social media every once in a while.
hmm.
I'm pretty guilty of that, of getting a little bit
Hmm.
too entangled with some things at times. But
Yeah.
you make me realize that I need to see the bigger picture, you know,
Hmm.
and you know, get out of my shell and see everything a little bit more on the positive side instead of just dwelling on negativity all the time, which is a good thing to do because, as we all know, the world is a miserable place as is. So we don't want to like enforce it even more, especially
So
given
that's
current events and stuff. But you
oh
know,
my gosh, yeah. Well, this is kind of funny because I'm usually the 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 bright and like rainbowy type at work, and I'm like you. When I meet people for the first time, I'm extremely shy.
hmm
So, for example, my boss, who is a wonderful man, and he helps. He reminds me a lot like Tomby.
hmm
Oh, he's completely different, but very generous man,
hmm
and he knows that I'm an artist. I'm
right,
aspiring to live the dream, which is live off my art,
hmm
and he's trying to help me actually.
hmm
So he invited me to one to see a movie that his son acted in with Nicolas Cage.
oh,
Yeah. It was crazy. I'm like, wow, congrats to Ben. You know,
Nick Cage.
yes, none other. So obviously, proud father. And he said,
hmm
listen, so I know that you want to do this. This could be a very, very good chance for you to meet people. And I'm like, okay,
hmm
let's do it. You think I met people? It's like I was there with two of my other colleagues. One of them was my book buddy, and then the other one was a colleague of my office. And we just sat there and had drinks, and then I had to leave. I didn't even
hmm
watch the movie because I wasn't able to. I told him, I was like, listen, I can stay for the
hmm
social, get
right.
to meet people, and then I'll leave.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, he was like, "Oh, that's fine." You know.
Did you at least say properly goodbye, or did you do an Irish goodbye and just like disappeared?
No, I think I kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I kind of disappeared.
We're not that different then, because I usually do that too.
So
I'm terrible with goodbyes. If you guys ever meet me IRL, I'll make an effort to say goodbye to everyone. But if I notice it's too many people, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. You know, bye.
Bye.
It's nothing personal. It's just
I'll message you goodbye.
yeah. I mean, it's nothing personal, but it's just
he was
a
all
hard
over the
time.
place. I mean, he was all over the place. He's a great host. So he was just hosting everybody. Everybody was just mixing, mingling. I felt really out of place. I didn't meet anybody. I had cards made. Like I had business cards, which is good. I had to make business cards anyway. But I had my cards made for that specific reason. And I gave them to my two colleagues, like, hey, do you like my cards? And then that's it.
I mean, sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes it can be a good thing to do the Irish goodbye, especially if it's like a situation you just want to get out of.
Yes.
If it's a situation where you just like, I kind of don't want to be an a-hole and just, leave, but I don't know any of these people, so why would they care, right? That's usually how I justify it when I do the Irish goodbyes at random places.
Yeah,
and
it's so true.
It does work in some cases, but sometimes I'm like, do I really want to do this? You know, maybe it leaves a bad impression.
Really.
Like, hey, you know, this guy who disappeared, yeah, he's a weirdo, right? You know, I mean, I'm not all for gossip or anything, but you know, sometimes I used to care a lot more about what people think of me, but nowadays I'm like, you know what? If people don't like me, then they don't like me. So be it. You know.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm terribly shy person in real life. Once I get to know you, once I warm up to you, that's a different story.
Yeah.
And I try to be as positive as possible. And at the office, I do. So right now, I'm a receptionist at my office, and I'm a teacher. I was trained to be a teacher, and I've taught many different things. But so I have a book, but I had two book buddies. Now one has left, but the other one is still there. And these are Gen Zers, so they're very, very they're very prone to actually like negativity. So I try to be as upright as possible because it's like, listen, I already have enough negativity around me. I don't need it from you guys. And they just laugh, you know, it's like, you always see the positive side. And
I mean, it's like I said earlier, and I can kind of relate where you're coming from with that, because if you already are dealing with enough negativity as is, you try to like make the most of it and try not to make the situation worse for everybody that's involved, right?
Agreed.
So I caught myself being a bit of a negative Nancy recently at work, and I was like, you know what? I can't change anything about the current situation, so I might as well just make the most of it and try to see the positive in what I have at that job. I mean, it is one thing not being self-aware of it or being oblivious to it.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Hey, Dunadan. Dunadan is always
good to see you, Dunadan.
Always on the channel. I usually go for an hour and a half on the Thursday because I also have to go to bed. And I know a lot of people have to, want to stay on the channel until it's finished. But, obviously it's a work night. And but usually Dunadan stays on for the whole. So he gets to see the results. And he's always been a very, very big supporter. Thank you, Dunadan. So awesome. So yeah, have you decided what you're going to do?
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing the Organ Mountain Trail or the Organ Mountains in New Mexico, because as I briefly mentioned this before we went live, I actually went to New Mexico a few times, and in the last couple of years, and I always found the view very fascinating of this mountainscape.
Nice.
And it is almost like you look at a green screen in a movie. If you see it for the first time and you drive towards it, you wouldn't even think that's real. It looks like somebody just
Okay, now I
planted
gotta
an
see it.
animation there. I need to see if I can find a good picture of it.
Yeah, send a good picture because I'll put it up. I'll
Uh,
share it on the screen.
oh yeah, this is probably a very good one.
Let's see.
I'll DM it to you on Twitter.
Okay, here we go. Ooh,
If I
we
can
got.
find it. There you go.
Let's see
And
here.
it's a Google link. Shoot, it's a Google link. Hang on. I forgot to download it. My bad. Sometimes my brain thinks too fast for my own well-being.
Oh, I know that. That's when I start eating my words, and it's like, have you seen, instead of saying, have you seen this? Have you seen cat? And I'm like, later on I reread it, and I'm like, oh, that's a very strange.
I had that a few times with books where I'm like, man, I want to read the book now, and then when I read it, I'm like, huh? I had that so many times that I actually got burned from like reading certain books, and I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be reading the books before I watch the movies. I should do it the other way around.
It's
I should read the
true.
books first. It's the
Yeah.
same with what was that book I read where the book was actually better than the movie? I think it was Ready Player One. It was like this sci-fi movie.
Oh, yes, I remember reading that book.
The book was really good. The
Yes.
movie, however, oof.
All right.
So
You didn't?
this
Did
is
you
the
like
lovely
it or
view.
you didn't like it? I'm not sure what.
I was confused by the movie, if anything, because I was like, okay, I mean, granted, they did what they usually do in Hollywood. They stuff it full of cameos and
Yeah.
product placements and stuff like that. So, spoiler, you have like characters from Overwatch showing up. I think the Master Chief from Halo is even in that movie. And I was like utterly confused by that because there was no mention of that in the book.
No, there isn't. I remember.
That's what confused me so much. I was like, well, okay, granted, they had to do that for the broad audience.
Yeah.
They would appeal to them a little bit more. But generally speaking, I would say Hollywood needs to stop doing that.
Oh, fair enough.
So this is the view.
Oh my
So
gosh!
I was actually on that motorway driving towards those mountains. If you see that from a car, you would think that's not real.
That definitely looks like CGI.
Right?
That is crazy.
It's even crazier when the sun sets and it really shines on the mountains. The mountains glow like red, like crimson red.
Nobody took a photo of that? That's great. That's bad. Shame.
Yep.
That is awesome.
It is a great view, and I can't stress this enough. If you ever visit New Mexico, even like in the El Paso area, and you happen to see it, it is worth taking a look at it. It's an absolutely amazing view.
That is awesome. So you're gonna do that? Okay. Oh well. Good luck, huh? I'm really excited to see it.
From what I got so far, I mean, this is like just a rough sketch, right? So just
there it is. Oh, nice. Okay.
It's just like I had a reference picture for it. It's like very zoomed in, so all the grass, the patches and everything will not be there. But hey, Megatron.
What's up, Megatron?
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah,
I usually see Megatron on Yanwich's channel, which is kind of funny because that's where he usually is.
Oh no, Megatron likes to bully himself. I mean, likes to invite himself onto my channel, and he's very much he really likes hanging out with me,
So, it speaks volumes when people like to hang out with you,
I know that it does speak volumes. It's very awesome. So I'm gonna be having him on the channel, and I'm everywhere.
He's
Megatron,
everywhere. Yeah.
It's so true.
You're almost as bad as Legatus.
Legatus he's all over
everywhere.
the place.
I have no idea how he does it. Allegedly, well, this is a rumor. I can't confirm or deny if that's true. Allegedly, he has 5 monitors and he watches like 5 streams at once. And like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I can see that. I can kind of see that.
Yeah, when I saw him, I was like, wait a minute, I just saw you over on. It's like, hang on a second, how many streams are you on? That's
People
fun.
people always accuse me of having no sleep and being on too many streams at the same time. Legatus is even worse than me,
Wow. That
to
that
put
that is
to put it mildly.
crazy. No, man. I'm literally hanging from a rope and will you stop it? You bullied yourself onto the stream and you know it. Besides, I don't have a basement. No, wait, I do. But it's empty right now. And for the record, he promised me a Sailor Moon drawing, which I did pull up on the stream a week ago on purpose so that I can have proof that he was going to have it ready for the next stream that he's on. So you better get to it. I don't know if you've been working on it. You better get to it, Megatron. I expect that Sailor Moon picture when you're on this stream. No
Promise
excuses.
is a promise.
Yeah, man. You already said it.
Do you happen to know which Nicolas Cage movie the son was in?
Yes, I do. Hang on a second.
Was it a fairly recent one?
It was about 2 years ago. About dreams. He was a professor.
A professor, huh?
Yeah. Movies in 2020.
There was one Nicolas Cage movie where I was positively surprised about. It was the Incredible Weight of Massive Talent or something, where he basically plays an over-exaggerated version of himself.
Okay. No, it was Dream Scenario, I think it is.
Dream Scenario.
In which he played, Dream Scenario, in which he plays a professor.
Oh, this Scenario. One.
I think so. Is this a 2022, 2023 film?
2023, yes. Yeah, it's 2023 movie.
Yeah, the 23 movie. Yeah, that was it.
I would have recognized him if you wouldn't have told me that this Nicolas Cage. My God, he was different.
Yes, that is Nicolas Cage.
There's like actors who are like chameleons, right?
Yes.
Every time I think of like actors, for example, the prime example I always bring up is Christian Bale. That man is a chameleon. I have no idea how he pulls it off. Like there was one movie that he did, I think it was The Mechanic.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. He lost a lot of weight for that movie. He was like very skinny all of a sudden. And then like 2 or 3 years later he did The Dark Knight.
Wow.
I was like, how? How do you do that?
Well, that for me is Johnny Depp. Which is probably why he's my favorite actor, because he's so versatile. He can so he did he does do like certain types of films, but I've seen him in all of them. So he did The Tourist with Angelina Jolie, completely different film. Obviously, Edward Scissorhands, he works a lot with Tim Burton, he's my favorite director personally. I really love his style.
Tim Burton is unique.
Exactly. Love it. So but he played Jack Sparrow, and this is what like blew my mind. So he played Jack Sparrow, and then immediately after he played what was his name? Willy Wonka in the Charlie and the Charlie Factory. And he was a completely different character. He was weird, he was quirky, he was like strange. And then he went back to Jack Sparrow, and I'm like, dude, can you please stop? It's like, how many personalities do you have? Are you like, I don't know, schizophrenic or something? It was.
I think you have to be a certain kind of crazy to be an actor.
In that sense, yes.
To a degree, because of all the different roles you play.
Yeah.
It's the same with Robert Downey Jr. when he stopped doing Iron Man and then wasn't Oppenheimer.
Yes, and finally he won an Oscar, and
well deserved.
Oscar. Yes, that was great. That was sensational acting. And then he played Sherlock Holmes as well.
Yes,
but nobody really knows him in that one. Wasn't a very big film.
I think the Sherlock Holmes movies they did were pretty niche in a way. Because most people nowadays know him from like Iron Man and like Dr. Dolittle, for example. Remember that movie?
Yes, yes. you're carbon dating yourself.
Well, he was in the. That was the. I was trying to think which movie was that again. That was like 2021, I want to say. That was like
Mhm.
right after Avengers Endgame where he did that. But
Okay.
the Eddie Murphy movies are pretty good too. The
Oh
Dr.
yeah.
Lula ones.
Oh yeah.
Guilty pleasure of mine because I know a lot of people hate them, but I personally like them.
Oh, that's
They're pretty
fine.
fun.
So it was super funny because everybody knows Samuel Jack. Well, all my Gen Z friends know Samuel Jackson for his Nick Fury, right?
Hmm.
But they've
Hmm.
never seen him in Jurassic Park. And I'm like, okay, you're sitting
Hmm.
down with me. We're watching Jurassic Park. This is a movie that you have to have in your pop culture,
Yes, it's an
upbringing.
absolute must.
So, so it was hilarious because when they saw him, like, oh my gosh, it's Nick Fury, and I'm like, dude,
Hmm.
this. Okay, this is not Nick Fury. This is Samuel L. Jackson, and he has been in movies like before you were born. So it was just so funny because they were like, oh my gosh, it's Nick Fury. What is Nick Fury doing here? I'm like, he's not Nick Fury. Not only Nick Fury.
Hmm. Don't show them Die Hard free, or they would
Oh,
lose their mind.
exactly. Hold on to your butts. Exactly. Exactly, Megatron. But it was so funny to see their reaction.
Yeah, don't tell Gen Z that Nick Fury used to be a white guy.
Really? He was a white
No.
guy.
Yep.
Oh.
In the comics, he used to be
Ooh.
white, and he was best friends with Punisher as well.
Ooh, okay. I did not know this.
There is actually a little bit of off topic, but there's
Yeah.
actually a game collection that came out recently. It's called the Marvel versus Capcom collection, which is like a little collection of like 90s video games, like fighting games with the X-Men and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah,
the
yeah.
Capcom characters. And they actually re-released the Punisher video game that dropped in the 90s that was deemed too violent back in the day. And
Yeah.
there's a co-op section in that game where you can play as Punisher or Nick Fury. And
And
Nick Fury in that game is white.
oh no. That
And
is
some people
terrible.
were like, "Why is Nick Fury white in this game?" Like, because
Because
that's
he
what he used to
was.
be. Don't tell people that David Hasselhoff used to play Nick Fury.
No.
He did it in
Oh,
the
okay.
past.
No, oh my gosh. You're gonna get canceled for this. So canceled.
And
Yeah.
nowadays you would be, yeah.
Yeah, but still, oh my gosh, he did really do a good Nick Fury job. I mean, I loved him. It was a
Mhm,
great job.
mhm,
And that's the thing. So I didn't know about this and I really didn't care. But
mhm,
now that you tell me, and if it had come out today,
mhm.
people would have been like super furious. Like, why are you doing this? Nick Fury is not like this.
Mhm.
When it came
The
out, nobody cared.
Yep. I mean, it speaks for the character if you don't care whether or not he is a certain skin color at the end of the day. It's the same with oh my god, which one was it again? There was another one, but that's besides the point. I think it was a DC character, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Wally West. I think. I
Okay.
don't. In the TV shows that the CW put out, Wally was also played by a black guy, even though I could have sworn he wasn't
Okay.
in the comics. But that's besides the point. I personally think it doesn't matter who plays the character as long as they pay respect to the character and actually portray it in a certain way, and the writers respect the character
Yes.
too. And because I think skin color shouldn't matter when it comes to certain roles. I mean,
Absolutely.
granted, there is roles that you should only play by certain people.
Hmm.
That, but I think it shouldn't be the be all end all.
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I mean, okay, so I'm probably going to get a lot of hate with this. I committed to watching this Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Hmm.
I committed to watching 3 episodes because I have one of them is my book buddy, the other one is a super really good friend of mine who's almost like my sister.
Hmm.
They both love Rings of Power, and I'm
Okay.
like, I'm not going to watch it. Now I feel happy for you. Good for you. I'm not going to watch it. where they're like, okay, just commit to 3,
Mhm.
and if you don't like it, you can leave it. And I'm like, okay, for you guys, I will commit to 3. Granted, he likes Last Jedi
Mhm.
more than any
Oh.
other Star Wars movie, and she likes the sequels. So we're starting off
Wait.
with a little bit of a bad foot, but that's okay. I'm very fond of both of them, so
I mean,
respects.
I mean, um, more power to them. If they like The Last Jedi, by all means. But
Yeah, no, but this guy, my book buddy, really likes Ryan Johnson movies in
please
general.
tell me,
So
does he like Knives Out?
yes, he likes any Ryan Johnson movie practically.
I'll give kudos to Ryan Johnson. He did one good episode in Breaking Bad.
Okay,
That's the only credit I can give him.
I kind of did like Knives Out, not
Knives Out
too
was
much.
fine. Glass Onion was a bit. I don't know if you watched Glass
Oh,
Onion.
I have not watched it. No,
To put it into the words that Daniel Craig uses in the first movie, it's just dumb.
Okay,
Like literally dumb. It's
fair enough.
such a dumb movie.
Ouch, that hurts. Well, anyway, the thing is that so I did commit, and I did not keep my word because I only watched 2,
Mhm.
right? But I did like, and this is where the hate is going to come in. I did like the character of the woman dwarf.
Disa?
Yes.
Mhm.
So I loved her acting. It was just I loved her. I loved how she portrayed it.
It is fascinating when you hear the actress talk in public and then you see her acting the role.
Yeah,
It is like 2 completely different people.
it's
I've
true.
it is absolutely insane. If you ignore the nonsense that she's talking,
Yes.
you could swear she has a twin sister who just talks the same way she does and does the acting for her. That's
So
how
here,
different she is.
so here's the thing. I had lived through all the it's because they're racist that they don't like the character thing, and I'm like
Mhm.
yeah whatever. But I gave the character a chance, and he said, hey, well, this is fine. It's like it doesn't really matter. I mean, okay, women dwarves do have to have the beard technically because that's the whole
Mhm.
point. And you can't
Mhm.
difference between men and women because they have beards, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so weird, right? She did not have the beard, but I loved how she acted. It was just fine, and I loved like the new character.
Mhm.
I didn't mind it. A lot of people were like, uh, tearing their garments and like, and I'm like, it's fine. I don't mind. It was pretty cool. Now, I could not watch the rest of it. I only stopped until episode 2 because I just couldn't stand the rest. It
Mhm.
was just so dumb, so dumb. And I told my friend, I'm like, listen, do you really want me to tell you what I think?
Mhm.
And she's like, but you're already predisposed. And I'm like, fair enough, but I can tell you objectively
Mhm.
what it is. So I told her in a kind of funny way in which she was laughing. It's like, but you're mocking it. And I'm like, I am mocking it because this is bad. For example,
Mhm.
the mom who's married, who is the love interest of the black, almost bald elf, right?
You
So
mean the young one that everybody calls Don Lemonless?
yes, that's the one. That him.
Mm.
Okay.
I don't even know the name of the elf.
I don't. I didn't even try to remember. Anyway, my friend does, but that's fine. She's excited
well,
for season 3.
Pretty
And
sure
I'm
when
like,
you
good for
Google
you.
Don Lemonless, he will pop up.
Yeah. So anyway, almost black elf or Don Lemonless. So she's a mom, right? So instead of going, her son is in danger.
Mhm.
She finds a big hole. Her house is destroyed after going miles, with this elf and leaving the elf. She comes back very quickly, I might say,
Mhm.
to a house destroyed. She doesn't know where her kid is. She
Right.
finds the kid in the cupboard, and the kid says, "Go find help." You as a mom or as a dad, you don't leave your kid alone and then as he hides away. No, you take him and you drag him out of danger.
Mhm.
You don't from there.
There's no discussion. You don't endanger
No.
your kids.
No, you leave.
Your
You leave with
kids
the,
always come first. I'm
exactly.
not even a dad, and even I know that.
I'm not a mom either, and I know that, which is why I found it ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, who's leaving her kid, alone in a cupboard, to go find help. But she doesn't find help. She goes and hides in the cupboard, in another cupboard herself, and she looks, and I'm like, are you like kidding me?
Are you for real?
Like, are you for real? And then you have the other one, the Galadriel.
I can't stand Galadriel in that show. Granted, credit where credit is due. I gave the show a chance, right?
Okay, you did. Okay, that's fair.
Question: How far did you watch the show?
Episode 2. That's it. I could not watch anymore.
But you've probably seen the infamous clip where she's standing outside when Mount Doom is erupting, right?
No, I did not. See, I didn't even get that far.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, for those who don't know, I'm also doing like moderation work for Nerdrotic.
Oh yes, yeah.
Full disclosure, he did not force me to watch it. I did that on my own merit because I wanted to see for myself how terrible it is.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, there is a scene where it is explained how Mordor came to be. Because Mount Doom erupts and then Mordor comes. So it's basically the origin story for Mordor.
Uh-huh.
So what happens is the volcano erupts.
Okay.
And for those who know how a pyroclastic flow works and how hot these things can be, they can go over like, I don't want to like pull numbers out of my butt. So I'm just going to look up the numbers of how hot it actually is.
It's crazy hot.
It's crazy hot.
I can understand that. Crazy hot.
I mean, let's think about it this way. You know what happened when Pompeii fell?
Yes,
right?
yes. Of course.
That's basically the equivalent of what happened there. And let's just say that, it is actually nigh impossible to survive that. But in the show, that's where they absolutely lost me. I mean, granted, it's a bastardization of Tolkien. That's besides the point. But they show Galadriel walking outside, looking at the volcano as it's erupting.
Oh.
The pyroclastic flow coming towards her like a giant cloud full of lava.
Okay.
And she survives it.
She survives that.
Yes. You see her in the next episode covered in like
oh my gosh.
I think the internet called it Cheeto dust because she was like completely orange.
Cheeto dust.
It is hilarious. If you ever manage to see that scene, it is outrageously stupid. Even my uncle, God bless him, right? But he managed to watch the entire season. I have no idea how he did it because he absolutely loves the Lord of the Rings books and the movies.
Okay.
And for some reason, he watched the whole thing. I have no idea how he did it. I would love to have that mental fortitude to do that. I don't have the patience for that anymore nowadays. If a program doesn't respect my time and pulls some random BS, I'm out. So yeah, the next episode rolls along and she's completely fine.
Dude,
and people are like, this is a pyroclastic flow.
How can you possibly survive this?
Okay. Yeah, how can you fucking survive that? Like there's no, pardon my French, but there's no fucking way she would have survived that as an elf. Let me have a look real quick how hot a pyroclastic flow really is. In heat in Fahrenheit, because I need to remember you guys have Fahrenheit over there, and I've got degrees.
No. I have Celsius.
Oh, you got Celsius. So yeah, it's 800 Celsius. 800 degrees Celsius.
That's crazy. That's insane. That nobody survives that. Like
nobody does.
Nothing. Not even
she
nobody.
Takes it like a fucking tank in a video game. I refused. After that, I was like, you know what? I'm out. Peace.
No, I just couldn't. The writing was awful. The whole the characters were like wishy-washy. I got to this is how far I got. The second episode is when she swims back. Of course, she swims Of course
Oh,
she
oh,
swims back.
oh, that one. Yeah.
Of course she swims back in the middle of nowhere, and she expects to, survive without, they've been sailing for days on end, and she expects to swim back with no like nourishment, and then she just
Mm.
happens to, to come across a bunch of drifters, you
Hmm.
know, and then you have your wishy-washy. It's like, oh no, we have to let her. No, you can't let her go on. And then they let her on, and then she's, oh no, she's an elf. No, you can't let her on now. And it's like, dude, you
I
just
learned some valuable advice from her, though.
oh,
If I want to defeat an enemy with a sword, it's stab,
yes,
twist, and gut.
yeah, it's true.
Apparently, that's how a sword works. I don't know
Okay,
how,
no.
but yeah. Last
So
I checked, it's the other way around. You actually gut the person. And that's it.
anyway,
But
whatever.
yeah,
And
whatever.
then, I mean, whatever. I mean, even from the get go, it's like she's pushing her team. A leader does
Hmm.
not push her team that much, and like and leaves them
Hmm.
there. It's like, oh, leave her there. Like, dude, you're supposed to be, looking out. That's what a leader does. No, so um, Dunadan, you're not missing anything. Even so, I actually do listen to a podcast who was very much in favor of these of the show, which was
Hmm.
the Melonheads, the Council of Elrond. But
Okay.
they're two Irishmen and who have loved Lord of the Rings, and they were really super hyped
Mhm.
for Rings of Power, and even much like it was kind of controversial because they were like, oh, and we can't wait until the haters like hate things like that, and I'm like, well, okay, but they have some good, interesting things. So even they said that they were mistaken, that the show was terrible. They
Well, at least
not
they
what it,
saw the light at the end. So
yeah, and you know what? It takes a lot of effort to actually say, you know what, I was mistaken. You know, um, and
Megatron, be glad that you don't watch that crap. You know what
yeah,
what I also
yeah.
sat through? Kenobi
Oh,
and She-Hulk.
oh no,
Uh,
I cannot watch She-Hulk.
uh, Funny
No
tidbit for
way,
you.
forget
I watched Kenobi with my ex-girlfriend.
it. I guess that was the point. No,
And
that was the
no,
end of
well,
it.
no, it was like 3 months after the show ended where she broke up with me. But it is always a funny memory. Like, hey, I used to watch it with her. Like, but yeah,
So I didn't
yeah.
watch Kenobi. I really didn't have any interest. I do pick and choose my shows. I did this because I really like my friends, and I'm very happy that they are enjoying it because you know what, I do see like the production team, um, the costume design. I personally did like.
Hmm.
There's some things yes, some things no, obviously,
Hmm.
but there's a lot of people who are working behind the scenes who are trying to do their jobs, or maybe they don't agree with every like decision that is made, but they don't make those decisions.
Correct.
So to have people like my friends who do enjoy the Rings of Power, it's like, okay, you know what, at least the people who are behind the production, they get to they get the recognition of somebody because it is a lot of hard work, you
It
know.
is, yeah. I don't even want to knock the people who worked on the show because they are just the poor bastards who have to do the work that Amazon tasked them to do. But
And also she said, also my friend said, don't take it as canon, this is a fanfic, and they always say it's a fanfic, and I'm like, okay. And it was like my mantra is like, this is a fanfic, this is a fanfic, this is a fan. It
mm,
did not work. I could not. I was like, I just couldn't do it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't continue. This is, for me, this is just terrible,
yep.
and I'll give you my reasons why, objective reasons, you know.
Mm,
But I'm really happy that you like it because there are people who are behind it. You know, there are actors who did their job well,
mm.
and um, they don't deserve to be, pulled down and everything. You know, the people who are like complaining, like, "Oh, you're racist," is like, okay, fine,
Mm.
slash them because they're slashing. You know, I don't believe in retaliation, but this is like, okay, fine. But
The thing is, when people call you racist and all that stuff because
yeah,
you don't like a certain actor or you think a certain show is not good,
mm,
I personally think it's just projection for the
yeah,
most part, because a lot of people are very insecure about how they feel about certain things. They just want to project their insecurities upon other people, and it's easier to disqualify someone calling them racist
Mm.
instead of actually giving you a valid reason why you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Fair enough. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. I've been on the internet for far too long to argue with idiots about what show is good and what is bad. I've
Good
been on
point.
Twitter. I've been on Twitter when it was invite only.
Oh really?
That was like
That's
11,
a
12 years
long.
ago. That was a long
Yes.
time ago.
That
Yeah.
was a long time ago.
And this is where my origin comes in. Just to
Right.
give you a little rundown of what I used to do, where the name comes from, and everything.
Okay.
So I used to. My grandmother died in 20. Trying to think, what was 2005. My grandmother died relatively early.
Okay.
So, in order to deal with her loss, because I was always told from society that men are not supposed to cry and all that stuff, and men have to deal with
Mm.
grieving a little differently. That's
Yes.
what I was told by society. My
Yes.
my dad
Yeah.
always said, "Well, you know what? F them. Just
You
cry.
know.
It's okay."
Yeah.
But I always put up a brave face for my family, and
Mm-hmm.
my way of dealing with her loss was just working on music. Like I got myself an editing program and just started like cutting things
Jamming.
together, and
Yeah.
that's how it started. Then I realized, like, wait a minute, I can actually do something that I always wanted to do. I can cut out a certain artist from a song
Mm-hmm.
and put the song back together and pretend like they were never there. So that's where this whole thing started. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll just start. I started on MySpace, but MySpace was a bit more like
Oh
strict on
wow.
copyright and all that stuff, so I couldn't
Yeah.
really upload music there. So what happened was I got myself a Twitter account
Okay.
through a friend, and I started posting like these songs. I used to listen to a lot of rap music back in the day, but nowadays my musical taste has broadened a lot. So I'm listening to a lot of things these days. But yeah, my primary genre was like hip hop music, especially like old school hip hop, like 80s, 90s, early
Nice.
2000s.
Good taste.
But yeah, and I just I always felt like some songs could have been better without certain people on it.
Mm-hmm.
I always believed that. So what I did was I actually started like taking certain artists from songs and just upload them onto
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. Granted, pre-Elon, it was a little bit difficult to actually keep the songs online. So
Mm-hmm.
I just posted like links to the songs so people could download them. And I think the highest amount of traction I got was like 10,000 downloads and 10,000 likes.
Wow. That's crazy. That's amazing.
And I met a good friend through that. He lives in California. I've never met him in person yet, but I'm working on changing that in like the next 1 or 2 years. And yeah, we started. I basically took him under my wings and started teaching him how to do the editing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the thing comes in. It got to a point where I got so popular that people from like certain Twitter groups were starting to hate me. Uh, Predominantly black Twitter, because because hip hop music is predominantly black,
Yeah.
allegedly. Um, but yeah, they were breathing down my neck, and then record companies caught wind of the fact that I was editing their material, so they were like,
Oof.
"Hey, you don't want to do that, you know." And I got one too many bans on Twitter at one point, or like getting locked out of my accounts. But I was like, you know what? I'll still do it, but I only take requests from people and email
Okay.
them directly to them, so I avoid the trouble of actually getting in trouble with
Yes.
the copyright holders of certain things.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's where the DJ Smu moniker comes from. And yeah, actually it was a silly acronym. It used to be Street Music Uncut. That was but
Okay.
yeah, because I wanted to be like cool and edgy and back and stuff, because of hip hop and stuff. But nowadays it's basically an acronym for my actual name. So it's a it's a funny way of reusing the same name still. I mean,
Nice.
I could have rebranded myself, but you know what? I'm too lazy for that, and I'm
What?
not really creative when it comes to coming up with names. I'm terrible at that.
Okay.
That's where that comes from. But
Well,
yeah,
that. Oh wow. And you still do it or not anymore?
I still do music editing. I mean, on my channel, I do like extended versions of like video game music, certain instrumental pieces, and I started looking into doing lo-fi beats now. So
Okay.
that's currently my small project that I do on the side.
Okay.
Uploaded a couple of songs onto the channel already. There's going to be a few more coming on Monday. I
Okay.
think Monday. Yeah, let me double check real quick. I think it was Monday. It's basically so the first thing I uploaded was like a instrumental instrumentals lo-fi instrumentals inspired by a day in Tokyo when it's raining. So I call
Oh.
it a rainy day in Tokyo. So the next one that's coming, which is gonna be on Monday, is gonna be a day in Shibuya, the in the middle of Tokyo. So I just wanted to do something that like encapsulates the feeling of being in a Japanese city during the day. So it's basically a whole day on a musical spectrum. It's like 40.
Nice.
It's like 40 minutes long. It's pretty relaxing stuff, but yeah, I'm just like slowly but steadily working on getting my hands into that instead of like just taking other people's work and just extend it. Because it is nice to do that, but you kind of want to dip your toes into other things. And apart from drawing, this is probably my second favorite hobby that
Well,
that
obviously, I can
do.
understand. Yeah.
And drawing is great. I mean, I can't stress this enough, folks. If you even if it's just like some stick figures or something like that, it is awfully therapeutic
Mm-hmm.
to draw. Even if you think you're terrible at it, just go for it, because even if you had a bad day, you'll find some joy in it somehow. I mean,
Oh,
I don't want to sound like Bob Ross over here, but
You
The-
never, I never knew Bob Ross.
Mhm.
I was introduced to Bob Ross fairly recently. So
Did you know that there's actually a Twitch channel that broadcasts all his
No.
broad shows?
Wow.
So it's like it's a 24/7 Bob Ross channel.
I
It is
did not know
wild.
this.
It is wild.
That is crazy. And people obviously tuned in, because if not,
Mhm. I mean, some people are like, "Why is this guy never responding to our chats?" It's like, "This guy's dead."
because he's dead, literally. Wow.
You did ask me about some old drawings of mine. I actually just went from my Google Drive. I actually found a few.
Oh,
I'm going to send them
okay.
over to you.
Yeah.
Some
What are you
familiar faces you might even know.
Okay. Bring
Let's
it
see.
on.
Let me see. Just need to. I mean, there will be in a weird like order, but let's see.
Here we go.
You gotta love technology.
I love it, man. I love it.
And I was gifted a drawing tablet recently from
Nice.
a German company called Faber. They do like the
Okay.
pencils and all that stuff. If you see them,
Wait,
you know them.
Faber-Castell? You mean
Faber-Castell.
Faber-Castell? No way.
They got like a drawing tablet called Repaper. It's
Oh.
basically it basically emulates how you draw on paper. You've got have this like metal ring that you can put on your pen, or you have like a digital pen that you can use to recreate digital drawings. There's one drawing that I'm going to send you that I've actually made with that, and the other ones I've done with pencil.
Nice.
So this is Dr. Rachel Lindberg, good friend of the channel. She got
Yes.
married just the other day. So
Yes. I saw her. It's like, did you get married? I'm like, oh my gosh,
I was very happy for her because
Oh.
so yeah, that's Dr. Rachel.
That's a very
Sent
good
you
drawing.
2 or 3 more. So that was done with pencil and fine liner.
Okay. Let's see what else. Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay. Is this Nomi?
This is Nomi, yes.
Oh, wait a second, but she's kind of to the side. So wherever you guys are watching, you're gonna have to,
You have to might have to tilt your head a little bit,
you
like
have
an
to tell
owl.
your yeah. There it is.
That's Max,
That's
Magitech Max. Also a good friend of mine, co-hosting the Dames and Dogs podcast.
I need to get her to help me with Final Fantasy.
She's the perfect person to ask that.
Yes, yes, you
She
guys
is.
told me.
Honestly, she is probably more knowledgeable about Final Fantasy than the average person that I know on the internet.
Okay, this
But
is Nomi.
this
This
is
is
Nomi. Yeah.
definitely this is Nomi. Okay, okay. Just a second.
I actually had the pleasure of actually handing it over to her when I was in San Antonio. That drawing.
Nice. Wow,
Actually,
you
the
really
finished.
captured her.
And that one took me ages to finish. I think that one, including the other drawings, I think I spent like 6 weeks on them.
Wow,
There was like 2 weeks on each one.
that's crazy. That is, you really captured her facial expression.
Yeah, I can't even tell you how many pencils and paper I wasted on these things. I think there was one point where my dad came around and he saw like how many pencils I've uh, sharpened down to like the bare minimum. He was like, "Are you okay? Are you losing your mind?" I was like, "No." And
That is so cool.
this is Quarter Black Garrett. He
Oh,
used to
Quarter
be with
Black, of
Louder and
course.
Crowder,
Yes.
and this is done with the tablet that
Okay.
I was gifted. So you can actually simulate pencil drawing with it. You can do like fine liner, airbrush, and all that stuff. And this was done with the simulated pencil. So
Okay.
this is actually one of the fairly more recent drawings that I've done.
Nice. Well, one of the things that I do not like is doing faces, which is why I probably am doing like I do like Spawn or do like
Mm. I don't
yeah,
even blame you because this probably sounds a bit strange when I'm saying this, but I find it easier to draw women than men.
really? And why is
Yes.
that?
For one, most women that I know don't have facial hair. No,
Okay.
that's number one.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
And I find it easier to draw lips on women than
Oh,
on men because I always fall into this trap. I'm terrible at drawing mouths, so that's why it takes forever for me to finish drawing sometimes. Because either I make the lips too big or
uh-huh.
too small.
Okay.
It
No.
is I don't know what it is. That's why I tend to like draw most people when they have like a smile on their face or
Yeah.
have a relatively neutral facial expression, so it's not as difficult,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
the focus is not too much on the lips when they smile. That makes it a lot easier for me.
It does make sense.
So
Uh
yeah.
I have to push myself because I really want to get into sketch cards, and I want to
Mhm.
get a hold of these people that Jinja told me is like, hey, you know what? I think you can get a hold of these people, um, and they can publish your work. So I really want to do that, but one of the things that I'm very like not good at is faces in general. So I always try to avoid it. I do Spider-Man, I do Spawn,
Mhm.
um, but I really have to push myself out of my comfort zone in order to do it.
You know what I find fascinating about these characters? Even though
Mm.
they don't really have an actual face, they're very expressive.
Yes.
Like Spawn, for instance, I find it insane how well Todd McFarlane captured the facial expressions when
Hmm.
he like you can see when he's angry, and
Yes.
it just captures so well. And I
Yeah.
even I don't know if you like Moon Knight or not because he's in a pretty similar vein to Spider Man. And
I haven't seen it, amazingly enough. I don't know if I want to see it, but if you
I'll
guys
just say this:
recommend
don't
it.
watch the show, but read
Okay,
the
go watch it.
comic instead.
Okay. And then yeah, and Megatron says that's why I draw Transformers because ones don't have face, don't have lips. It's fair enough.
I'm right there with you. If honestly, if I could, I would either draw like simple mouths, like just the line and the
Like
or
anime, like
like the
anime style.
yes, anime is very simple.
Yeah.
Or like the Ninja Turtles, they have like simple mouths. Like you have like the
Yes.
half moon and then the line, right? When
Yeah.
that's mostly their facial expression.
It's true.
They're so much easier to draw. I don't know why I put myself up with why I always put up the challenge of like always wanted to draw things with like mouths that are so overly complicated.
Because we can't help ourselves, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It is funny you draw Spawn, because when I was flying over for the San Antonio meetup, I actually rewatched the HBO animated series that came out in the 90s from Spawn with Keith David as the voice.
Yeah.
Oh, chef's kiss.
I know.
Such a great show. I mean, I love Spawn. He's probably my favorite anti-hero in a way.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't know why, but I hadn't thought of Spawn in years, even though I knew him from pop culture. These Gen Zers, they do not know Spawn. It's terrible. I don't know what kind of childhood they had, but it's very sad.
There's an interesting silver lining though. Did you know that Spawn was in Mortal Kombat?
No. Wait.
He was in Mortal Kombat 10 as a guest character.
Yes, one of the Gen Zers today, because I took this to work.
11.
I took this to say, hey, do you know this guy? He's like, oh yeah, I've seen him in Mortal Kombat. I'm like, Mortal Kombat? It's like, yeah, he was playing. We were playing, and this guy came up, and I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough.
He's captured so well in that game. It's insane.
Nice.
I mean, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can maybe share this in a second.
Okay, I think I'm done. I'm finally finished.
Let me just.
Oh no! Wait, I wanted to do something.
Share screen.
That's it. If you share screen, I'll show it. Nice. That's sick.
That's sick, right?
That is sick.
They even managed to capture the essence of his coat, the whole cape.
Yes.
It is insane how well they animated that. Let me see if I can find he's sitting on a throne.
Oh man.
There's he even has a joke like friendship, where he's just sitting in a hammock reading like a naughty magazine, and he's like, "What are you looking at?"
Nice.
That I gotta give credit to. The people who make Mortal Kombat these days really know how to capture like the old characters. The same team also made Injustice, the DC fighting game, and they managed to get the Ninja Turtles, all 4 of them, and Hellboy in the same game.
Get out of here! Real Hellboy.
Hellboy looked sick. I think it was even voiced by Ron Perlman, which I thought was a pretty cool touch. I mean, say what you want about Ron Perlman these days. He's a bit of a crazy guy, but he's a good Hellboy.
Wow. That is
Ninja Turtles are easy to draw because they're on their free thingers.
Fair enough.
You know what? That's a fair point, actually. That never occurred to me. I recently played the Ninja Turtles game, and I never paid attention to that.
Well, that's the thing. See, I'm not having as much trouble with fingers now than I am with faces. Faces is like, oh.
Faces are very hard to draw, especially because we have such unique facial features most of the time.
Yes.
No face is the same unless you have a twin.
Fair enough. And even then, was like I've seen twins, but their expressions. I used to teach a class where I had a pair of twins in the same class, the sisters, and I could distinguish them by the way they looked. So like the sharper look was Bridget. So I knew it was her, and then and Brenda, her sister, she had like a softer look on her. So when one of the sisters would call me for whatever reason, I would look at her. I would look at her eyes and say, "Yes, Brenda, tell me," or "Yeah, what is it, Bridget?" You know. So it was like, wow.
Did it ever scare them that you knew exactly which one of the two is which?
No, I think no, because they were good girls. They were pretty cool. Yeah. Well, my grandfather had a twin, and I know that he was a prankster, and his twin brother. They're both now. They both passed away. They're both in heaven. I know that his twin brother would follow with whatever my grandfather came up with. So, but my mom would tell me that she knew which one was which because they were identical, and some people had trouble knowing who was which. But she, like her and her siblings, they knew who was their uncle and who was their dad.
That's interesting.
That is so cool. I didn't really meet him. He passed away when I was very little. I mean, he knew me for a few years, but then he passed away. I just remember the pictures, you know.
There's always this like this thing that, or this meme that people say like, yeah, you look like a spitting image of your parents, right? You look like the best of both things, right? I'll just say this: I got my mom's hands. I've got extraordinary small hands for a man.
Okay.
These are small hands.
Small hands. Yes.
I can fit in size as surgical gloves.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's how tiny they are. But I've got the charm of my dad for sure.
Anyway,
so,
I've done this. My problem is, where am I going to sign it? There's literally no space for signing.
The backside?
Probably.
The thing is, sometimes it's best to just sign the backside. So this is what I got so far. I mean, I'm definitely going to improve upon it a little bit.
That is so good.
It's like the base of it all, like the clouds and everything. As soon as you do like shading and the trees and everything, but I'll definitely finish this up. I actually got some better quality paper, so I'm probably going to redo that. Bottom right corner.
Yeah, that's what I usually sign. If I have the space.
Or maybe the top. Do you have a like silver pen?
I do have a silver pen. I have a white pen, so I'm probably going to be doing that.
But Megatron, you do know that they actually made a Ninja Turtles game that's pretty faithful to the cartoon show, right? Shredder's Revenge. That's actually, I think Yanni played that. That's actually a pretty good game if you love the Ninja Turtles. But Rocksteady, I don't trust Rocksteady with anything after Suicide Squad.
Ooh, ouch.
Hell no.
You know, I never watched Suicide Squad. I really wasn't really interested.
It really depends on what iteration of Suicide Squad you watch, because there's two, right? There's one that James Gunn made, and the other one was done by David Ayer, I think was the name, with Jared Leto as the Joker.
Okay.
That one's okay. I would say the music's more memorable than the movie. Which is funny because the music is still being played on the radio every once in a while.
Okay.
The James Gunn one is, if you know, it's very squeamish. It's pretty gory, but it's a good time, I would say.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I was just like that one or Birds of Prey. I was just not really interested. And as I really like Jared Leto. I did not like him as Joker. I just don't see him as such. I was so excited for this movie that everybody now says it's Morphin time. Morpheus. So Morpheus.
My favorite vampire in Marvel, next to Blake.
Exactly. Yes. I was so excited. I know. It was so bad. And it's not Jared's fault, personally. I think he tried to do the best job that he did. And I was like so excited. And he was like, this is his role. This is him.
Yeah.
You know? And the movie was just like, oh my gosh, this is so bad.
You know, it's kind of sad. The only thing I actually remember from the movie was Matt Smith's goofy dancing in that movie.
No,
that's the only scene that sticks in my brain. Whenever somebody brings up that movie, I'm like, oh no.
That's very, it wasn't memorable. It was so sad. Anyway, we're coming up to the hour and 20, and I still
got 20. It's okay.
You got 20. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, let's keep going. Okay, cool. I thought
the other host mixed up the time zones, so I'm good. I got another 20 to 30 minutes. So
nice. So that means I get to start off a new project because
Rocksteady pre-Suicide Squad. Yeah, okay. That's fair, Megatron. That's fair. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm very iffy when it comes to video games these days, especially when it comes to like modern games, especially made in the West. I find myself enjoying Japanese or like generally Asian games a lot more nowadays, especially with the way they treat their characters with a little bit more respect than we do these days.
That's true. I
And
personally, no, even the movies. Okay, but continue. I got my thing.
yeah, the movies. You raise an excellent point. Even in the movies,
So I am a big fan of Rurouni Kenshin. I know.
love that shit.
Mwah,
Love it.
mwah.
Love it. Love it.
So I saw the movie. The first movie, I didn't even see the one that was. I think it was 2014 or 2017. I keep forgetting. But the first one, I didn't watch.
You mean the live action?
Yeah, the live action. So I didn't watch that one first. I actually watched Rurouni Kenshin, the beginnings from Netflix, the 2021 one, and it was crazy insane. It was so good, and it was really gory.
Yep.
They don't back out, but it was so good. And I'm like, what is this? I have never heard of this. And then I watched the original movie. They're all Japanese productions, and I'm like, this is how it should be done. You know, this is how it should be done. It's different from the anime. Because definitely, you can't portray anime feelings and gestures and characters in live action. It's impossible.
It's very difficult. Yeah.
It's impossible. It's like two different mediums. Or mediums. So you have to do with one and the live action, but they captured the essence of both Kaori and Kenshin and like the main characters and the main villains, and even Saori? No, what was her name? Satomi.
Sayori?
Satomi. No, what was her name?
Sayori? Was it Sayori?
No. Well, his first wife, right? Because he got married. And then she was back like for revenge, right?
Sagara?
I guess so. So Rurouni
Shinomori, I think it was.
Okay. Mori, yeah, I remember Mori. So even they captured her in a Japanese way, and it was like, this is insane. And then the other one is My Happy Marriage, which is another Japanese production based on the anime, and it was mwah. That's how it's done.
There is a fascinating thing with live action adaptations. I've seen the Japanese do Attack on Titan, which I thought was a bit of a weird choice for live action, but also One Piece. Like if you've seen the Netflix show, you kind of gotta ask yourself, like, how would they pull this off? Because number one, the characters are like 10 feet tall. Some of them have like outrageous body proportions that you cannot even replicate as a human.
No, you can't.
Even with prosthetics, it would look ridiculously stupid.
It's weird.
It's weird. Like even the facial expressions. Like if I look at like Luffy, for example, he's got a rubber face. How do you want to replicate that? You need to do CG.
Yes.
How do you do a character like Tony Chopper? If you know how to do it, then sure. But I'm always like very skeptical. That's why I prefer like live action things that are like within the realm of realism.
Yes.
Like Rurouni Kenshin is a good example. Or my God, what did they adapt as well, which was actually pretty good? I'm trying to think. There was another one, but they actually did a stage play instead. And I thought like, that's an interesting choice.
I don't know.
I think it was Demon Slayer. They actually did a
wait. You're right. I remember this. This is a few years back. They did do a Demon Slayer.
It was a stage play though.
Yes.
Like a legit stage play.
Yeah.
And I think it's fascinating that people still do stage plays of things, because as you know, stage plays can be a bit more eccentric.
Yes.
But I think musicals or stage plays are the perfect medium for these kinds of things because you
Yes.
can just portray the ridiculousness a lot more over that medium than, let's say, um I don't know, um sometimes you just gotta roll with the
Hmm.
wackiness of things.
Yes.
And as that's why Cowboy Bebop didn't work as a live action for a show,
Oh
for
my
example.
gosh, that was
I
so. And I felt bad.
it,
I genuinely.
it is horrendous. It is an insult. And that's I was of the impression that Netflix should stay away from anime adaptations, and I am very appalled by I mean, this is probably a hot take for some, but I'm very appalled by the fact that Netflix calls their cartoons anime because a lot of
Hmm.
the productions that they do are not anime.
Hmm.
They're not.
Hmm. Agreed.
Like like the recent example, and I went a bit of a bit on a bit of a tangent on that one just earlier today, was the Devil May Cry show. For those who know me, I grew up with the Devil May Cry series, played most of the games,
Hmm.
and they recently did a new adaptation of the games as a anime, even though it was a Western production.
Okay.
So I'm using that word very loosely here.
Okay.
And they the creators of that show don't
Mhm.
understand what the show is about. They
Ooh.
completely misunderstand what it's about. The first episode, you see the US military invading hell through a
Um,
portal,
okay.
and they portray the residents of hell as basically like refugees in in the Middle East. So it's like, oh,
That
US bad hell creatures are the victims, right? Like this classic victim mentality that they portray in Hollywood all the time.
that's
Like
just weird.
it's weird. And what's even worse is the president of the United States is actually giving the orders for the whole military action. And you know
Uh-huh.
what song starts playing when they invade hell?
Uh-huh.
American
Uh-uh.
Idiot by Green Day.
Oh my gosh.
And for those who don't know, that song was originally made for George W. Bush because Green Day hated his guts. I
Fair
mean,
enough.
say what you want about Green Day these days. I used to listen to them. I'm guilty of that too. But
I like
I
Green Day. Well,
I used to like them up until 21st Century Breakdown. Then they got a bit too poppy for me.
mm, okay.
It was
Fair enough.
this musical that they did after American Idiot. But yeah, after that I was like, yeah, no. And that song choice took me out of the show immediately. I was like,
Yeah,
it's like
no.
why? I was like, why? Immediately. It doesn't take it does take a lot for me to have a bad start with a show, but that really took me out. And it's
Okay,
like
not
this is a show about a half demon half human, half demon guy hunting demons, and you make it about how the residents of hell are innocent and did nothing wrong, even though it is implied in the show that they killed thousands of people.
okay. Like the whole point of hell is your punishment for what you've done. Huh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this morally gray thing these days
Okay.
really ticks me off. Like there's always this, oh, you know, they may be bad, but actually they're not. I'm like, either they're evil or they're not.
It's true.
There's no in between.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true. Oh yeah, Weird Al probably did. Weird Al did a Canadian idiot as a
yes, he
spoof.
did. Excellent cover, I should add. Weird
No.
Al is great. I miss that era of comedy.
Yes. I'm
I
not
mean,
sure if he has been doing a little bit still of music. It's just I haven't heard it at all. I haven't
I
heard.
think I haven't heard from Weird Al in years. In all fairness,
No, no,
but
it's true.
the
Not
thing
true.
is, I grew up with Chappelle's Show. One of probably one of could nowadays that would be considered one of the most offensive shows in the world.
Ouch.
Dave Chappelle used to pull no punches though. He mocked everybody,
Yes. Well, he still does, from
and I
what I heard.
appreciate that. I actually appreciate that. comedy should be that. No pulling no punches, actually making fun of everybody.
Nobody's safe.
Yep, nobody's safe. And I feel like we need to go back to that era where it is okay to make fun of everybody. Instead of like tippy-toeing around literally everyone.
That is so true. Very much. Everybody's like tiptoeing. It's like, you cannot offend this. You cannot do that.
I don't know if you heard the story about this morbidly obese woman that ordered an Uber and she was denied service.
Yes, I remember.
And she caused quite a stink about that, didn't she?
Yeah.
And turns out she lost the lawsuit. Because obviously she did.
Well, duh. I mean, I'm sorry, but
I mean, no offense to anybody who's overweight, okay? But there's literally an option called Uber XL for people
oh,
that are
really?
a bit more overweight.
Oh, okay. I did not know this.
I didn't know either up until I watched a few videos explaining the whole why this lawsuit actually happened kind of thing. So, yeah, the lady deliberately ordered a regular Uber. The driver said, "Ma'am, I can't take you in that car because I'm afraid you might break it," which is a fair point because the woman was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And it amazes me that she had the gall to say like, well, he discriminated me. You knowingly ordered a car that's definitely not able to carry you.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
People are weird.
I think the driver even got fired from Uber because of that. For discrimination. It's like, I don't know.
And she still lost the lawsuit.
He still lost the lawsuit.
But she did get the guy fired.
I think the guy was got his job back in the end because there was like a huge misunderstanding. She was looking for a payday. Yeah, exactly, John. you got that right.
Hey, John Thomas.
Hey, John Thomas. And yeah, she was legit looking for a payday. And I hate this victim mentality of, oh, let's get a quick buck. Because you undermine people who actually desperately need that money.
Yeah. No, that's just wrong.
I find it disgusting how much the internet has made people think they're entitled to things.
Mm-hmm.
We're raising a bunch of entitled assholes, basically, nowadays.
Brats.
I mean, I work with children in my field of work as in ophthalmology. And the way some of the parents treat their kids, you would think that the kids are the parents and the parents are the kids.
Well, I saw that. Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I saw that when I was a teacher, which is one of the reasons why also I said, it's like, I don't know if I want to continue doing this because the kids were, they had the authority. Mm-hmm. And me as a teacher who had been in the field, you know, and with the experience and everything, I did not stand a chance.
Do you feel like kids have changed a lot in the last couple of years?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In terms of like how entitled they are to certain things?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They feel entitled very much. Oh, John Thomas says, Smu the Deutsch.
I'm German, yes. Half German, half Scottish, I should add.
Scottish. Oh my god.
That's a funny combination. Always a good conversation starter at parties, I should add. Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised in Germany, but I was raised bilingual, but I think I didn't pick up English up until I was like 13.
Okay.
I mean, I did watch like all my favorite Disney movies on VHS in English.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jam. And yeah, I just watched them on repeat, and I kind of like started connecting the dots a little bit with what they were saying, even though I had a hard time saying it myself. But my brain was like, yeah, this is that, and that's it. You're German on the mom's side, you can speak it though. I hear that a few times. I mean, it's pretty much like it's like Tabitha, right? Because Tabitha's mom's German too, or the mom's side is German.
So here's the fun part. I had a really really good friend while I was studying in Rome,
Mhm.
and because of her, I started teaching myself German. So
Okay.
I was able to get to like I was able to read
Mhm.
certain things because obviously it was very very like beginner.
Mhm.
Um, but then one day I sat with her German friends or her German speaking friends at a German table.
Mhm.
I had secretly been like teaching myself to read and things like that. And mind you, I already know about 3 or 4 languages. So German
Mhm.
was like, okay, just another language.
Right.
And I was able to understand some of it, what they were saying. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I couldn't speak it, obviously, but I
Mhm.
was able to like capture things. And she was like, oh, they're saying this. I'm like, no, no, I got it. And she's like, you did? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I got it. It was a lot of fun, and it surprised her. Later on, we went our own ways, but
Just out of curiosity, what brought you to Rome? So because
studies.
that's like s- ju- just for studying?
Yeah, just for studying. I got a scholarship to study, um,
Okay.
and then I was there for 3 years, and then I went back. I never really, um, you know, it was more of a cultural study that I was
Mhm.
able to get this scholarship. I wasn't uh, going to be in the field. My field was art and teaching. This was
Mhm.
a little bit of theology. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's fine. Let's do it. In the
Mhm.
experience. And I was with a whole bunch of like international people. I met people from Uganda, from the Philippines, from Singapore. I met people from all types from Latin America, North America. Um, I did get to meet like a Finland person.
Mhm.
It was really awesome. Lots of Spanish people there.
Interesting, right? You would think
Yeah,
there would be more Italian than
yeah,
than
no, no,
Spanish people, right?
no. There's a lot of Spanish people. Ooh,
I
and
mean,
it's
I mean, I'll be honest. Spanish and Italian is very similar. Like if
yes,
you understand Italian, for example, you can pick up
yes,
Spanish relatively quick. It's the
yes,
same with French.
yes.
I had French in school for 6 years as a main course because
Hmm.
I had the choice between Latin,
Hmm.
French,
Hmm.
art, physics, and I think it was music.
Oh my
For
gosh, you
some,
got to choose.
yeah, I got to choose, and I was like, "What's the point of learning Latin?" Yeah, but in hindsight, I should have taken Latin, but that's besides the point. So I thought it was a good idea to because I already had a foreign language with English. And I thought like, "Huh, how much worse can it be, right?
Mm.
It can't be that different." Yeah, boy, was I wrong.
It's true. Oh, we got a dad
French?
joke here. Yeah, I know. I know. Megatron
Wow.
when he starts his his dad jokes, be prepared. But
Oh, I'm a fan of good dad jokes.
oh
Sometimes
yeah.
I'm just like, "Oh, Romance
It's
languages." Yep, that's
it's
true. They're
that's the
all
thing.
very similar.
Yep. So it's Means of Destruction who's in the house.
Hey,
And
how's it
also
going?
JM, the elite
What up,
fans.
Jam?
And John Thomas says Scott and German drink everyone under the table beer and whiskey.
I wish I was this good with drinking. I wish I was. The best thing is, this probably sounds like heresy, especially as a German. I can't drink beer anymore.
What?
I have to.
No,
Well,
no.
I can drink it, but I get drunk very quick from regular beer. So I have to resort to like whiskey, Scott, and all that stuff to actually not get drunk too quick, which is actually an oxymoron. You
It,
would think with the stronger alcohols you get drunk
ex-
quicker.
exactly. What's going on here?
It's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite with me, weirdly enough.
No. So when I was in,
Hey, okay,
I know
Dead
it's
man walking.
and
Dead man
dad
walking.
said I'm the
Hey,
dad joke.
you are the dad joke. Yes, I guess you are, sir.
So here's the fun part. While I was
Oh,
there, I had my last birthday, and
mhm,
we went with a few friends, and one of them was German, very very determined person, Bernadette, even though she had a French name, but Bernadette. So um, she took me to a craft beer store that had just opened around, the area. And I'm a really, really big beer fan. I really
Mm,
like beer. I
mhm,
don't like spirits. They're just too
mhm,
strong for me. I'm a wine person but huge beer person. So she took
mm.
me to the store, and each bottle of beer, crafted obviously, was €5. I was like, insane. That's
Okay.
insanely expensive, but like a bottle, just one bottle.
Mhm.
And so she says, "Okay, we were five people. It's like everybody's gonna get one. It's on me." And I'm like, "You're kidding? You're gonna get us all drunk in the middle of Villa Borghese? I'm not doing this. We're having three or two. I was saying two. No, you're having five. No, two. Okay, three. Fine, three." So I got to choose the craft beer. So we had a German light lager,
Mhm.
spectacular, a Guinness. I
Oh,
haven't
I love
tried a
Guinness.
Guinness,
I love
and
Guinness.
then an Italian red beer. And
Interesting.
it was that was my favorite. So the light lager, the German light lager was like
Mhm.
really, it's a really like very, very light beer, and you drink it in these big huge mugs, right? What do we
The
call these?
jugs, the beer
Yes,
jugs.
yeah, the beer jug. So
Mm.
and it was a big bottle.
Uh-huh.
It was okay. The Guinness
Right.
was too strong for me personally. I don't like Malta. It was just like, meh. I mean, it's okay.
Mhm.
Uh, but the red beer was just like spectacular. It was a beautiful bottle anyway.
Oh, I
But
believe it.
it was like so. But oh man, I'm a very, very big fan of beer because I don't get drunk. I don't. I mean, I don't go for more than one or two bottles tops,
Mhm.
because you do get you it does fill you up, but
Mhm.
it's a drink that I can, chug it down and be
Mhm.
refreshed. Um, so um, I don't know. Okay, so I was 4 years in England. No, in okay.
W-
Ich,
Woher kommen Sie? Which is where do you come from?
okay, woher
I
kommen
lived in
Sie?
Erlangen for 4 years.
Okay, ich lebe Hefeweizen. Weizen.
Hefeweizen. Okay.
Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
That pretty much exhausts my residual German.
Fair enough. Without doxing myself, I live in Western Germany. I'm living pretty close to some of the bigger cities like Cologne and
Okay,
Düsseldorf
okay,
or Dortmund.
okay,
And yeah, most airports are like a stone's throw away from me, except for when I travel to the US, I have to go to Frankfurt because,
okay.
ironically, the flights from Frankfurt are cheaper than the local airports that I could go from. Yeah,
Okay.
because there's a difference of like 600 to 700 euros per
Oh my,
flight.
wow. That's crazy. That's insane.
Köln, yeah,
Good.
Köln, yes. Lovely city, by the way. If you ever go visit Germany, go to Cologne, which is also the place where the Gamescom takes place. If you're into video
Ooh,
games in Germany, one of the biggest conventions for gaming in Europe.
nice. Very
Guinness
nice.
Stout is like bread. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Memes. I used to, I used to have a local Irish pub that I used to go to
Uh-huh.
in the city where I live in right now.
Uh-huh.
Sadly, they had to close down because they changed the smokers laws like, when it comes to bars. So you,
Oh,
you weren't allowed to just smoke inside the bars anymore, or you had to have like a secluded area for smokers. So they had to close down, unfortunately. But I used to meet up with like we used to call the group Pat Spreads, which is basically like kids from soldiers or civil servants from the British Army
mm-hmm.
that was like Scottish, half Scottish, Irish, or English. So we all met up like I think every 2 weeks just to go out for free drinks. So we did that,
Nice.
and yeah, I used to drink a lot of Guinness back then. I drank like 4 or 5 pints.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I had like like basically 2 loaves of bread each night each time we went out.
Wow.
So yeah, And the best part is I can openly say this because I'm not embarrassed about it. After that, we went out for a few drinks more in a club, and we got there was a 2-for-1 thing going on. So basically, you got one drink and you got another one for free. So my cousin, he actually lives in the same building as me, funnily enough. He thought it was a good idea to get a Southern Comfort with Coke, like a cocktail. So we drank that. And we got a Long Island iced tea alongside that. So we had like two massive, like almost like this size of a jug worth of a drink. So it's like half a liter almost full of drinks. So we drank both of those, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I feel a little buzzed because of the
oh boy,
the Guinness and everything.
Okay, this is not
Yeah,
good.
joke's on me. So he was like, I still want to go party. So I was like, okay, sure, let's go to the rock club that we usually go to, where they play like hard rock and heavy metal and all that stuff. I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. I was like, man, I start to feel the booze. So he thought it was a good idea to get another round of beers. At the time, when full disclosure, at the time I was like 22.
Okay.
So that was like, well, it's 13 years ago to today. And I was out of it at this point. I was like, I can't drink anymore. I feel sick. So what happened was, like I said, I can openly talk about this without feeling embarrassed. I got to a point where I felt physically sick, and I was like, I'm about to throw up. That's what I felt like. So I did actually throw up once, and then I was like, oh, I feel okay again.
Oh boy.
Kinda, yeah. Boy, was I wrong. So I thought it was a good idea to order a Coke afterwards, just to get that taste out of my mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the biggest mistake ever, because I think like 5 minutes later, I threw up again.
All over.
But here's the thing: right over the counter where the people were serving. Luckily, at the time when I was throwing up, there was nobody in the service area.
Oh, you were lucky.
I was very lucky. So my cousin actually caught onto the fact that I was feeling physically sick. So he was like, I think we need to go. So
I think you're right.
And I was like, you know what? You might be right. So what he did was he actually ordered us a taxi, because we had to drive like 30 minutes to where he lived, because he lived like in like the outskirts, like
yes. Yeah.
So he got us a taxi, and he actually told the taxi driver that I was a diabetic and I had a diabetic shock and I need my medication. He's like, before he got the taxi, he was like, don't you dare throw up in the taxi, or I'm going to kill you. And the taxi driver actually believed the lie, and gave us the fare for half the price.
Oh my gosh.
And let me just say that I had the worst hangover the next day. I didn't touch alcohol for 4 years after that. 4 years.
Wow.
Nowadays I'm very like selective. I drink like with friends, but not by myself.
Okay.
Or if I have like a silly stretch goal of like, yeah, let's drink a shot of scotch whenever I reach a certain goal on like a marathon stream or something like that.
Yeah.
I do drink like the occasional drop of alcohol, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. I personally don't drink alone. I like to drink with friends. I do enjoy my beer on a hot day, but I'm not a really big drinker.
You know, honestly, it's cheaper to just get like 1 or 2 drinks and then be done with it.
It's true. And you know what? I don't know why, but like people enjoy it so much getting drunk. I've never gotten drunk. From what I can tell.
After that hangover, I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to get drunk ever again.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. No, you poison your body with stuff, and essentially, it's just getting worse if you can't control yourself. I mean, I'm not like a recovering alcoholic or something like that, so I can only speak for the experience that I had with that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let me see what did John say in the chat. There's a great local pub in Erlangen called Klimperkasten. Okay. owner would cover Beatles tunes and similar stuff. I was one of the few GIs that were let in. Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Erlangen had a huge beer fest in May. One of those liter beers was cooked.
Oh
It's
no.
like an Oktoberfest kind of
Oh,
style, like
that's
with these
crazy.
massive friggin' jugs.
That is crazy.
I actually took the liberty of starting another drawing because you started
Oh.
another one, so I thought it was only fair. Kirby.
That is,
I just need to paint him. That's the only thing.
So this is the commission that they gave me right here.
Right.
So Daredevil with Spider-Man, but the Daredevil.
Oh, I love Daredevil.
I know, I love Daredevil too, man. So but the person wants a like the new style, so it's going to be red, and new style of Spider-Man, which is the same. I don't know why. He's like,
well, the MCU Spider-Man is a slightly different.
Okay. Well, anyway.
But yeah, normally he's the red and blue. Right?
Yeah.
I think it's the legs and the bottom part of the arms is blue.
Yes. Well, yeah.
I think, or like the bottom of the arm as well, and the rest is all red with the webs.
Hang on.
Daredevil's mostly red these
like
days,
this?
I think. Yeah, similar to that. Yeah.
Similar to this. Okay. Well, anyway, the thing is that so this person wants it on 2 sketch cards because he wanted first an A4, which is this size here. But this
basically
one,
what I have.
Exactly, but obviously that's going to cost quite a lot because it's a lot of work.
Yep.
So when he saw my commissions, it's like, okay, I want a sketch card with these 2 characters, and I'm like, okay, but I don't do sketch cards with 2 characters. It's way too small. It's not going to be. I mean, I could, but it's like I'm not offering it. I'm offering 1 character per sketch card.
That's fair. Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, how can I do it? I'm like, well, you can do 2 sketch cards and then just, put them together. It's like, okay, that'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. So now I'm working on it. I'm starting it off because I did finish my spawn, so I'm not going to touch it anymore. That's it. I think that's pretty cool. I signed it.
I have this problem when I started drawing and I feel like I'm done with it. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I need to correct it a little bit.
Exactly.
Then I end up like screwing it up even more. And I'm like, damn it.
All of them.
Yep.
Every single artist has that same thing. So don't feel bad.
Maybe I can improve it. Nah, okay.
No, don't.
Stop it. If you ever feel like you've done enough, just stop.
It's true. It's true.
It's normally easier when you do that.
So anyway,
dang, we're almost at the 2-hour mark.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I think we.
I think we gotta call it a night. It's been.
Dang,
you still
time flies.
It does, and you have another stream to go to.
Yep, in 40 minutes from now.
Oh my gosh!
I'll be okay.
And are you gonna stream tomorrow? What do you come in? What do you have coming up? Tell the chat.
Tomorrow I might do a late night stream, like 11ish my time, so it's gonna be like 5 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
I might do a late night chill stream, just chat with people and just maybe finish up this Kirby.
Nice.
Actually, because I feel like we're just finishing up and showing it off.
Finish it stream. Nice. Finish it stream.
Yeah. Sunday I will probably play some games with Tomby again, because I'm actually working in the morning on that day. So it's going to be a morning shift from 6 to 2. So that's actually not too bad.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Monday I'm probably going to stream as well, but I'll have to wait and see because normally I play it by ear and just see how my and then I just post the stream. Tuesdays is usually Marvel Rivals at the moment, whenever we have enough people to play.
Nice.
And yeah, you can always find me on the Hump Day Chinwag on Wednesdays on my channel or Tomby's channel, because we kind of split the hosting duties because it's hosting on my channel, but whenever I'm not there, it's still running.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Everything is down in the description below, everybody. You can go subscribe to Smu the DJ right down there. I think I got your Linktree.
You did, yeah.
There you go.
Also, just one
Yes.
more thing. Yesterday I actually started setting up an Extra Life charity. For
Ooh.
those who don't know what Extra Life is, it's basically a charity that encourages gamers to play games for a good cause. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a charity stream on sometime in September,
Okay.
and I'm gonna raise some funds for the El Paso Children's Hospital.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's so awesome.
And it's probably gonna be a 12-hour stream. I know normally I don't commit to like extremely long streams, but I mean I've done it before, but so it's not too bad. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And by that time I should have my new gaming PC, so hopefully I can do multi-stream so I can reach more people and hopefully raise more awareness on that.
That is so beautiful. Okay. Everybody stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel down there. Everything is under the description below. You guys are doing it for a great cause. Nothing but admiration for you guys. That's very, very awesome. And me, I'll be streaming tomorrow. I don't know if in the morning or in the afternoon. Probably in the morning because it's going to be raining in the morning and I don't want to go out. In the afternoon, I'll be going to the library to pick up a couple books that I have. One of them is Zelda Twilight Princess. I'm reading the manga right now.
Ooh, the manga's excellent.
Yes,
I love the manga adaptations that they've done in the past. They're pretty good.
So, and then on Sunday, probably afternoon, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming some 3D sculpting on Blender, which is what I'm doing right now. I really want to get into that. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be streaming some Zelda Link to the Past. I'm so pumped because I've actually beaten a couple of.
I love A Link to the Past. I mean, my favorite is Link's Awakening. They used to be on Game Boy.
Okay.
It's not everyone's favorite Zelda, but I actually like it quite a lot.
I'm open. I'm very easy to please, which is very, very sad when something I really don't like because it's probably genuinely bad. I usually like most of the things that I see and that I play. So I want to go into more Zelda games. It's so awesome to play this one. And well, I know where to get them. So, happy for me. So I'm going to be doing that on Sunday on Kick. So I won't be streaming here on the channel. I'll be streaming on Kick. I have set a goal of every week having 5 people subscribe to the channel. I've up to 2 up to now, but again, I haven't streamed in the last few days, so it's kind of dead. I get more subscribers when people start watching stream. So.
And I find it weird. Like I gain like a sub and then I lose a sub. It's like I'm like inching ever so closely to the 1,200 mark, and then like just 3 more, and then it's like, no.
I just lost. I know I just lost a sub on YouTube, so well, it happens.
Oh well, it's a grind, folks. It's especially on this platform. It's not easy to retain an audience, but woe is me, I guess.
Well, that's okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for dropping by. Everybody who stopped by, you guys know where to find us out in the Twitterverse, out in the YouTube verse. It was Tabitha. I don't know why he said that, but it probably was. It was probably Tabitha. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will check you out later. See ya.
Cheerio.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.